Hello, and welcome to Bedtime Stories with Mozart. This is a podcast designed to help young ones fall asleep. As a group of youth musicians, we are passionate about exposing others to classical music. Each episode, we will read a bedtime story, followed by a short excerpt of a calming selection of classical music. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Today, I will be reading Maui and Moana, Tales of the Demigod. One day, Maui said to his 4 brothers, "Come fishing with me today. Let's go far out to the sea. The fish are much bigger and better there than they are close to land." "Okay," said his brothers. They were good fishermen and wanted those big fish. The 4 brothers and Maui jumped into their canoe and started to row. When they got far out to the sea and could no longer see land, Maui jumped onto the end of the canoe. He drew out his magical fishing hook. When his brothers were looking ahead, he cast the hook over the side of the canoe. The hook sunk down into the blue water. Soon, the magical hook stuck to the bottom of the sea. Maui, pulling the fishing line tight, he called out, "See that tug? I must have hooked a giant fish." "Wow, I see that," said one brother. "That is some fish you caught," said another. "My brothers," Maui called out, "paddle hard so we can bring up this great fish." The brothers paddled with all their might. They paddled so hard they did not see that the hook was pulling up the land from the bottom of the sea. Behind them, one island after another rose from the sea. Legend says that is how Maui made the islands where the people now lived. One day, Maui wanted to see how life was for the people who lived on the islands. But what he saw there made his heart skip a beat. Life was very hard for them, and he could see why. The days were just too short. There was not time in a day for people to do what they needed to do, like making and cooking food. If they laid out a wet blanket on the sand, the blanket would still be wet the next day. There was not even time for the fruit in the trees to get ripe. "It's the sun," said Maui. "He is racing too fast across the sky. He is not thinking about the people who live down below on the islands." Maui knew it was up to him, a demigod, to slow down the sun. But how? He asked his brothers. He asked his sister Hina. He asked still others that he knew. "Who do you think you are, Maui?" said one. "No one can catch the sun." "Even if you are a demigod," said another, "you know very well the sun is too big and bright for anyone to stop." But Maui's sister Hina did not say these sorts of things. She cut off her long hair. She tied the hair into ropes and gave the ropes to Maui. From these ropes, Maui made a giant lasso. That night, Maui took his lasso up to the very tallest mountain on the islands of Hawaii. The mountains had once been an active volcano. Years ago, it had sent out waves of hot lava. When the volcano was over, a big crater was left at the top of the mountain, and that crater is where Maui planned to catch the sun. By the crater, Maui waited, very still. He hid the lasso behind him, out of view, and when the sun rose at dawn, it started to race across the sky very fast. Soon, that sun was flying over the mountaintop, and brave Maui flung the lasso over his head. The ropes caught. The sun tried and tried to move, but was trapped. "Get me out of here," shouted the sun. "Not yet," said Maui. "You are moving too fast across the sky. It makes the days too short for the humans who live down below." "So I like to go fast," said the sun. "Who cares? Let me out of here." "No," said Maui in a big voice. "I care. You have to stay here, in this crater." He pulled the lasso tight, but in his heart, Maui did not feel brave. He did not know how much longer he could hold on. True, his lasso was stronger than any other rope in the land, but he did not know how long even a lasso made from his sister's hair could last before the hot rays of the sun would burn it up. The sun tried to move again, but could not. Oh, very well, said the sun at last. You can be sure Maui was very glad to hear that. I suppose I could slow down just a little bit, said the sun, but only for part of the year. So Maui and the sun worked out a deal. For half the year, the sun would move at a slow pace. Those days would be long, and that would be the summer. For the other half of the year, the sun could run as fast as it wanted to. Those days would be short, and that would be the winter. This is how Maui made the days longer for the people of the island. At last, they could do the tasks they needed. They could have a full dinner and rest after, and the fruits on the trees grew big and sweet. The end. Thanks for listening. Be sure to remember to follow so you never miss an episode. Now, you'll be hearing the Saint-Saëns Violin Concerto No. 3 in B minor, performed by Maia Schmidt. Good night.